If Carlsberg made a fishing lake, then Gigantica would probably be that lake. Now, it's in France, it's roughly 35 acres in size. It's got a general average depth of between 20 and 25 feet, and it is home to an incredible stock of carp, an outrageous stock of carp. The biggest fish, the Immaculate Common, was last caught 2 years ago at 96 pounds. Now, it wouldn't be too far-fetched or unrealistic to assume that fish is over 100 pounds at the minute. But before we get too excited talking about trying to catch 100-pound commons, the rest of the stock is insane as well. There's a couple of 80s, numerous 70s, loads of 60s, and a huge head of scaly 50-pounders that are just, they're unbelievable. I've not seen the calibre of carp in a French commercial fishery anywhere. You know, there isn't a lake that holds that number of quality fish. So, the biggest thing about carp fishing is always location, the number one thing, the most important thing. And swim choice here at Gigantica is done via a draw. There's 12 balls go into a hat, numbered 1 to 12, and you have to draw a ball which allocates not your swim number, but your swim choice. And ideally, I would like a central swim. I would ideally need to come out, I'm thinking, at least in the top 6, the first 6 balls, or probably the first 3 or 4 balls. But yeah, I'm anxious, I'm nervous about it, but I'm super excited because of the quality of the fish, because of what you could potentially catch. Anyway, enough waffle. Back at the lodge, they've got pictures of these carp on the wall, and I like to refer to that as the menu. So let's go and have a little look at that now. Okay, so this is what I refer to as the menu, what you could catch here at Gigantica. You know, obviously you come here to eat every single evening, and sometimes when it's going a bit tough, it's good to remind yourself of what is swimming in the lake, you know, fire you up to go back to your swim and cast out. Now, on this wall, obviously, the Immaculate could be 100 pounds, as I've already mentioned, but there's so many big fish in this lake. The target is a rarely caught big one that everyone really wants to catch, 74 pound there in 2020. Split Peck in 2019, 68 pounds. Spotty leather in 2001 at 63 pounds. 2-time at 72 pounds. Now, one of my favourites is Fred, and I think Fred is a lot of people's favourites for obvious reasons. Covered in scales, the biggest of the scaly ones at 63 pounds. Another absolutely mega one, the patch fully at 59. Yeah, too many to mention. This is the wall of the absolute monsters, chunky at 82 pounds. But as you look round in this lodge, I don't know how many scaly 50 pounders there are, but there's numerous ones, and I would love to catch any one of them. You know, when I always come to this lake, that's in my mind. It's not about one fish for me, it's just trying to have one of the nice ones, because there is so many. But yeah, that's enough looking at the menu. Time to do the walk round for the infamous draw, and fingers crossed we get a good swim.
Day or night by a fish, and you don't ring me like 5 minutes after. Oh, not that one.
Oh. Well, ball number 5. What I really wanted was to be in the top half of the draw, and ball 5 is in the top half. I actually got my 3rd choice of swim. I had Coes and Alcatraz as my 1 and 2. So yeah, I can't really grumble. Third third pick when it could have been, I could have been having my 12th pick, you know, worst case scenario. So yeah, pretty happy all in all. Like I say, loads of big fish out there. The wind is meant to be southerly based for the majority of this week, not the whole time, but for the majority of the week it's meant to be southerly based. It's going to be blowing into the swim. And the guy that was in there last week, he fished short all week, and he only caught when the wind swung into his face. He didn't put much bait out. He hasn't been baiting long at all. So it's, you could say, largely unmolested. And if you look on the website, the Stink is renowned as a big fish swim. He's done all of the big uns at some point over the years. And yeah, I'm just itching to get started. Hopefully I can find some nice clear spots. If I can find some nice spots, I'm sure at some point during the week we're going to get a few chances. With regards to the wind and how it affects things when coming to venues like this, obviously you're going to be in a swim for the week. You know, there's going to be little chance to move. So obviously I was looking at the weather conditions prior to coming, once I'd arrived, and I had sort of two sort of different lines of thought. One was to fish long range from a swim such as Alcatraz, having the wind off of my back that would make fishing at long distance easier. And if I wasn't to be able to get into that swim, which is highly likely, you know, one of the top swims in the draw, then I was thinking that if I ended up coming out late, then I wanted to be in a windward corner, thinking that if you're in a corner peg, you've got more chance of the fish being in them if the wind is blowing there. And if you close your eyes, sixes are in, like fucking Terry Ampler, I mean, fucking JCB. Well, after a lot of casting, I've settled on a lovely spot out there. It's 28.5 wraps, really, really clear. And a lot of the swim, you know, the majority of the swim, is very patchy. And where it's not patchy, it's quite silty. And this is a noticeably harder drop. A few exposed stones of gravel. Yeah, and I'm pretty happy with it. So the plan is to put 2 rods on that, fish them close together, really close together, and try and get the spom in fairly tight. And then the 3rd rod, because it's the first night and I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with it, I'm going to probably just put a solid bag out fairly short. There's been a couple of fish show straight in front of the swim, but the most important thing for tonight is to get 2 rods on that spot at 28.5 rod lengths, get some bait over the top, and I'm gonna be fishing that spot for the majority of the week. Change of plan, wasn't gonna put the 3rd rod out, but once I sat on my bed chair for 5 minutes and had a little break, I thought I might as well just chuck a solid bag out there. So that's what I've done. I've chucked it about a rod length off the baited patch where the other 2 rods are. Went down quite nice, you never know, it'll probably be that one that goes.